Luxury brands have mastered the art of creating a status game that consumers feel compelled to play. Imagine walking down a street lined with high-end boutiques, each one beckoning you with its promises of exclusivity and prestige. This isn't just retail. It's a psychological battleground where your self-worth is challenged by the perceived value of what you wear or carry. Brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci thrive on the concept of social comparison, showcasing their products not as mere items, but as gatekeepers to a world of elite acceptance. The psychological impact is profound. Wearing these brands often leads to an inflated sense of identity. Yet, beneath this intoxicating allure lies a darker truth. Studies have shown that individuals who overly identify with these brands frequently experience anxiety and dissatisfaction when they cannot keep up with the changing tides of luxury. They are caught in a cycle of desire and despair, constantly needing more to feel adequate. This segment reveals the emotional toll of trying to maintain a status that is often artificially constructed by the brands themselves. What does it say about us when our self-esteem becomes tangled with material possessions?
Have you ever felt a rush of excitement while purchasing a luxury item? This is the dopamine effect at play, a psychological mechanism that luxury brands exploit mercilessly. When you buy something extravagant, your brain releases this feel-good neurotransmitter, creating a temporary high that can be addictive. However, this euphoric state is short-lived, often replaced by buyer's remorse or the longing for the next fix. Brands like Chanel and Rolex know this dance all too well. They create anticipation through limited releases and exclusive events, ensuring that consumers feel a sense of urgency and scarcity. The thrill of ownership is quickly overshadowed by the desire to maintain that high, prompting repeat purchases. This cycle traps individuals, leading them to spend beyond their means, often putting themselves in financial jeopardy just to chase that fleeting pleasure. This segment dives deep into why we fall into this trap and how luxury brands capitalize on the psychological vulnerabilities that drive our purchasing behaviors.
Luxury brands exploit the fear of missing out, or FOMO, to create a sense of urgency among consumers. This phenomenon has become even more pronounced in the age of social media, where influencers flaunt their latest designer finds, making it appear that owning these items is synonymous with happiness and success. The psychological underpinning here is rooted in social anxiety. We fear being excluded from a perceived elite group. This compulsion to conform often leads to irrational spending, where the desire to belong overshadows financial wisdom. Brands like Balenciaga and Supreme capitalize on this fear by producing limited edition items that can disappear in the blink of an eye. The result, a frenzy of purchasing that often leaves consumers feeling regretful and inadequate. In this segment, we unpack the psychological mechanisms behind FOMO, exploring why it drives us to spend money we don't have on items we might not even truly want.
Luxury brands create an illusion of value that often has little to do with the actual product itself. The psychology of branding tells us that a name can elevate an ordinary item to extraordinary heights. Consider the difference between a simple t-shirt and a $500 designer tee. The fabric might be similar, yet the brand name transforms it into a status symbol. This illusion is built on narrative and perception, not necessarily on intrinsic quality. Consumers are often blinded by marketing tactics that emphasize exclusivity and heritage, leading them to overvalue what they purchase. This segment will dissect how branding manipulates our perceptions, leading us to believe we are acquiring something of significant worth, while in reality, we are often paying for the brand's story more than the product itself. We will explore case studies of brands that have successfully cultivated myths around their products, leading us to question, are we purchasing luxury or are we purchasing an illusion? As we navigate the murky waters of luxury brands, it becomes imperative to break free from the psychological traps they create. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming our relationship with money. Instead of viewing luxury as an endpoint for self-worth, we must redefine our values and focus on what genuinely brings us happiness. This segment discusses practical strategies for evaluating our purchases, questioning our motivations, and understanding the difference between desires versus needs. By cultivating mindfulness and financial literacy, we can begin to disentangle our identities from material possessions. The journey to financial wellness requires us to confront uncomfortable truths about our spending habits and to understand that true luxury lies in authenticity, not in brands. By critically analyzing the influence of luxury marketing on our psychology, we can make empowered decisions that reflect our true selves rather than the identities imposed upon us by societal pressures.